This is Matrixlord 212, and I just saw I Just Subscribe Now's video talking about the evil manifestation of the Doctor, and I think I know who the Doctor may be, but I don't know if it would be so much as a name. The thing is that if you've been a Whovian and you've watched from the very beginning up until now, you know that the Doctor is a creator of worlds and not a destroyer, and I'll tell you why. Because without the Doctor's intervention, okay, the Earth would not be inhabited by humans. Now you may be, oh my God, what are you talking about, Matrixlord? Well, if you look at Earthshock, okay, you see that the Doctor brought Adric from E-Space into our universe, and in a battle with the Cybermen destroyed the ship that Adric's DNA, I guess, crash landed on Earth, thereby having the DNA to create humans. Okay? If you look at City of Death, Fourth Doctor's episode, you see that a spaceship that exploded, the Jaguar Fest spaceship, basically gave the energy that the Earth needed to create the humans from the DNA, probably from Adric, okay? All this probably wouldn't have happened without the Doctor's intervention. This is another example of why, because the Doctor's been traveling for so many years, 1,109 years, okay, has been helping people and everything, that when he was put into the Pandorica, he is such a part of the universe that the universe was destroyed or erased, because if you erase the Doctor, you erase the universe, okay? So think about that for a minute, alright? Also think about, if you look at the classic series and you look at Silver Nemesis, okay? There was a few people during Sylvester McCoy's era that knew the Doctor's name. A very select few. One of them was the woman inside Silver Nemesis. Another was in Curse of Fenric, okay? And you could tell with Sylvester McCoy that, you know, with the finalization that was going on in that last series, that they knew Doctor Who was getting canceled, and they were thinking about revealing who the Doctor was, but they never did. Instead, what they did was they had the Doctor clean house and basically destroy every one of his enemies, the most powerful ones, the Daleks, because in remembrance of the Daleks, he sent the hand of Omega to destroy Skaro, and thereby looking like he destroyed all the Daleks in Davros. You see Silver Nemesis, where he destroyed the last of the Cybermen. Okay, so even the Master, that was the last episode, looked like he was destroyed. So it was about finalization with the Seventh Doctor, but they never revealed his name, and they almost did. Okay, so the Doctor, they were saying in Silver Nemesis that the Doctor was part of the ancient Time Lord era. Okay, what I really believe is a theory of mine is that Waters of Mars is a big hint on who the Doctor is, and I'll tell you why. The Daleks did not kill Adelaide Brooks, okay, because if they would have killed Adelaide Brooks, it would have prevented her descendants. There was one descendant, I think it was her great-great-great-granddaughter, that all this family's members were traveling to the stars and meeting aliens, okay? She met this prince on this planet, and the two of them together creating a brand new species, a brand new race. What if the Doctor was the first baby of that race? What if he wasn't only the last of the Time Lords, but he was the first of the Time Lords? And the reason why he has a problem with regeneration is because he was the first. He had a problem with regeneration, and then his descendants or the, you know, whatever brothers and sisters or whatever came after, you know, it would just flow where they would regenerate without problem, you know, as time went on. But what if, yeah, he is human, but he's human like maybe like 1%, because you know, no, actually not 1%. It would be half human, but. Anyway, So what if he was the first Time Lord, the first Gallifreyan, not Time Lord, but the first Gallifreyan, okay? And I guess Omega will be considered the first Time Lord because he created it. So what if he was the first Gallifreyan? Think about that for a minute, because the Daleks did not want to prevent her. She was a fixed point in space and time. They, when it comes to time travel and stuff, they don't care about anything, but the one thing they couldn't do is they didn't want to kill her. So if the Doctor never came into the picture, maybe the Daleks wouldn't be as successful, unfortunately, because it was through his intervention that they probably got so pissed off that he kept trying to stop them that they grew in power. So, as a hero, when you're trying to save the world, you're going to have people that are going to rise up as villains, that they're going to be more powerful to try to stop you because you're there. So it could be, in trying to stop the Daleks, they're as powerful as they are because of him. Okay, and it was because of them battling with the Doctor that they just took that battle to the Time Lords. And they started, well, actually the Time Lords basically started probably the Time War, because they were trying to prevent the Time War since the genesis of the Daleks. Okay, and the Daleks, knowing that they sent the Doctor to prevent them, basically that was the signs of war, because Davros wanted to know every single battle that the Doctor encountered with the Daleks to erase it all and change it. So basically, another act of war could have been that the Doctor destroyed Skaro and all the Daleks and everything, and Davros lived. But another thing is that to piss off the Time Lords, the Daleks held a thing that for all the galaxies to see and to execute the Master. Now, there's not a lot of love lost between the Master and the Time Lords, but he's still a Time Lord, okay? So you're not going to have some race thinking who the hell they are, like the Daleks, come in and destroy one of your own. It doesn't matter if he's the most evilest or the most kindest. The Time Lords are not going to tolerate that at all, okay? They're not going to be embarrassed by anyone. They've been around for billions of years, so guess what? There's the Time War, okay? Not only do they go to war, but they eliminate a law of time where there are limits on regenerations, because basically the Daleks are popping out more Daleks like an oven to battle the Time Lords. So guess what? The Time Lords are going to regenerate indefinitely. Every time they're about to die, they regenerate and they battle Daleks again. And that's what the Time Lady was talking about in End of Time Part 2. That people keep reliving their lives over and over and over again, dying in new ways because they regenerate constantly. Okay? And another thing, like I stated in my first couple of videos too, if you're in a war, okay, you're going to do whatever you can to win. You're going to bring back Rassilon, you're going to bring back the Master, you're going to bring back Omega, you're going to bring Durrani. Anybody that's going to help you, guess what? Everybody's going to get together. And even the Doctor. The Time Lords and the Doctor were working together in the Time War until he found out what they were doing, and then he turned on them. But guess what? He was on the front lines. He was on the front lines. Okay? So they put aside the differences, but then, of course, he took care of that when he found out what they were up to. All right? So guess what? Rassilon was always kept on ice in the Fifth Doctor. They'll make it like it was a ghost. No, it wasn't his ghost. It was technology that his body was at its end, and they used that technology to keep him alive, to confer with him on important Gallifreyan matters, just like every other Time Lord they probably put on ice because the law of time forbidded them from regenerating, so they kept them in status. And the only thing that was connected was their mind forever, as part of the computer matrix or whatever, to talk to them and ask them for advice. Okay, but other than their body was shot, so they couldn't regenerate and they didn't want them to die. So all the Time Lords, I believe, were on stasis. And when the Time War happened, guess what? The law is broken. Go ahead, Rassilon, regenerate. Okay? And they helped it along, just like the monk helped the Doctor regenerate in Planet of the Spiders. When the third Doctor regenerated into the fourth, he needed a little push. Just like the Watcher gave the Doctor a little push to regenerate too, because he was too late. Alright, so basically, the Doctor has a history. Okay? He's a creator. And probably he was a destroyer too, but his importance, he's basically tied to like every planet there is. I mean, you gotta understand something, that if someone knows every single language in the universe, he's been everywhere. at least a couple of times. Okay, there's probably a few places he hasn't been, and that's why what's going to probably eventually happen is the Doctor's going to have to travel out of the universe because it's going to get boring. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think that with the 50th anniversary, we're going to see the Doctor travel to multiple universes to make it interesting. Okay? And also, if you're with the Daleks or the Cybermen and you can't beat the Doctor, what are you going to do? You're going to go to another universe where you take it over. And you know what? You don't think he's going to follow you, but you know what? Eventually he's gonna. So, who is the Doctor? Well, the Doctor's completely tied to this universe. That's what it is. And you eliminate from him from the universe, or you try to erase him, the whole universe is destroyed, as evidence of the Big Bang when at the end of Pandora. So, is the Doctor becoming evil? If he becomes evil, will he destroy the universe? What would be the only thing that could stop him, basically? And that would be the past Doctors would have to stop him. Or if Amy and Rory die, and that signifies him becoming evil, the only way to save it, River Song would have to pluck Amy Pond from time and basically bring them back. So, to help the Doctor. And what just happened to my computer? It went all crazy on me. Alright, so that's basically it. What's the Doctor's name? You know what? I have no idea. But you know what? We do know that he's been around for a very, very long time. And he is probably, concerning time travel, he is probably the first Time Lord and the last Time Lord. Okay? And obviously he's different from the other Time Lords. But with time travel, you don't know. Basically, another theory I had, too, is what if, when the Master looked in the Untempered Schism, what if the Doctor looked in there and saw himself becoming evil? And he got so frightened on Gallifrey, if he remained to destroy everything, that he just ran away and tried to be the hero. Because he saw at some point in time as a child that he's going to be evil, and he didn't want that. Could be that, And, to talk about, the brain of Morbius or something, like an old episode, 4th Doctor, with all the images of the Doctor, you still got to keep in mind, too, that it's all about time travel. So, when you saw the many faces of the Doctor, that's not necessarily before the first Doctor. That could be after the 12th. I mean, don't forget now, River Song is meeting the Doctor out of order, so all those different countenances and faces of the Doctor could be the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, because don't forget, the Doctor travels through time. So I don't think at all there were Doctors before the first Doctor, at all, okay? I think it was the Doctors after. And I think that's what that episode had to do with Brain and Morbius, where they showed the different faces of the Doctor. I think it was the Doctors after, because if you pay attention to what the Ood said at the end of Time Part 2, he's like, they say this song is ending, but the story never ends, because basically he can regenerate forever. Okay, and as far as they can see, he's going to regenerate, and they can't see a time when he does die, because being that he travels through time, how the heck are you going to track that, really? So, this is a massively long video, but also keep in mind, too, what if, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to make a separate video about that, because it's a big video, too. Alright, take care, bye for now.